Hello everybody, welcome to this devotion. I am currently in day 3 of a devotion that comes off the YouVersion reading plans by a man by the name of John McComer, and he's written a book and he's done a 5-day devotion called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. Now Comer says this about Hurry, and I love what he says about it. He says all the spiritual masters from the inside and outside the Jewish tradition agree on this, as do secular psychologists, mindful experts, etc. If there's a secret to happiness, it's simple. Presence to the moment. The more present we are to the now, the more grateful we are for what is. The more we tap into joy. I kind of was thinking around this, especially within the context of 2 conversations I had earlier today. Both these conversations were discussions about the uncertainty of the future. Now recently I've been doing quite a lot of sort of research personally and for content purposes around the subject of uncertainty. And I don't think, certainly in my lifetime, has there been more uncertainty about our future, uncertainty about the economic situation in our country and beyond, about the political instabilities, around weather and climate change and all these kind of things. They just kind of generate this like low-level hum of uncertainty. And I realized that, that you're never going to be able to resolve these things. We're never going to be able to be absolutely sure we'll have enough money for our future or a place to live or a job that we're going to have. The future will always be perpetually uncertain. And so when I was talking to these 2 guys earlier today, well, how do we manage this? How do we manage uncertainty? And more than that, how do we feel joyful in the midst of this kind of environment? And it's not easy. I mean, we would agree to that. But what I realized was this, that as much as we need to have goals and objectives and a sense of vision and purpose for the future, we have to manage the day-by-day uncertainty on a day-by-day basis. We've got to realize, in fact, I think what we have to do is to label uncertain, say, listen, it is uncertain, that's the reality, that is the certain thing, is uncertainty. And the way in which I'm going to resolve it and deal with it is that I'm going to have to manage it. I'm never actually going to be able to settle anything and say that is absolutely certain. And I'm speaking specifically about what's to come in the future. Of course, there will be a day when things will clarify and you'll be able to live through those moments in your life. So that's the first thing, I think, how we cope with it. And then this devotion where John McComer speaks into the subject a little bit is the second way in which we cope with uncertainty. And he writes this, he says, all we have is the present, the here and now, this moment, this pain, this joy, this gratitude, this surrender. And I think it takes skill, it takes mindfulness, it takes a bit of energy to kind of be present, to be in the moment. Otherwise, our lives are going to be filled with anxiety, filled with pressure and tension, and we're never going to find a deep sense of peace. He adds this about, surrendering to God. He says we often vow to give God our future with great aplomb and heroic virtue. But the future is easy to give to God for the simple fact is that we don't have it. So we have this current reality, and the question is how we're going to resolve with it. Well, we're going to manage it, and one of the ways in which we manage it is that we are present. We have the here and now, and we're going to engage with that. And this goes to the scripture that John Mark brings in his devotion from Philippians chapter 4. Don't fret or worry. Instead of worrying, pray. Let petitions and praise shape your worries into prayers. Letting God know your concerns. Before you know it, a sense of God's wholeness, everything coming together for good, will come and settle you down. It's wonderful what happens when Christ displaces worry at the center of your life. I mean, I know this is a lot easier said than done, but this idea that I can bring all of my worries to prayer, that my worry becomes my prayer. And when I do that, and God knows my concern, it goes to that labeling, it goes to the fact that I acknowledge my current reality, the stress of my day-to-day life, and I bring it before God. Before we wind up and finish off today, let me give you a call to action, and it comes from Comer's devotion, which I think is a really good one, and I'm going to do it before the end of today myself. He says, find one simple act of delight to do today. read a poem, listen to a song, drink a cup of coffee, take a short walk, and do it slowly, practicing presence to the moment and gratitude. Regardless of how your day has been or is going, I really do think that if you are able to do this one call to action, you're going to find some joy today. Thank you, Mr. Comer. God bless you. Thank you for watching. Why don't you share this message with somebody else? If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel or liked my Facebook page or followed me on Instagram, hey, why don't you do that and go ahead, and hopefully we can make these devotions available to others as well. So God bless you. Have a great day.